That means slowing down, being present, getting still. Learn to listen to your spouse. If you just dial it down, be present in the moment, you'll hear a lot. And as far as being present, sometimes that means doing nothing. Like, you don't have to be in deep conversation. You don't have to be doing something. Sometimes being present just means doing nothing at all. And I think it took us a while to figure that one out. Being present, I've probably been talking more about that than I intended to, but to be present, be still, just chill. Be still and chill. Like, we always feel like I am someone that's always on the go, got to be doing something. And over 20 years of marriage, I can tell you that learning to be present, to be still, and learning to listen are huge assets to making your marriage last, to making it successful. I've screwed all of that up a lot, okay? So my words are just general thoughts on what I've learned a lot the hard way. Some things we got right. Some things we were mentored. We were lucky enough in the very beginning. I made a video about this, I don't know, a couple months ago. I feel pretty strongly about it. I think that as a whole, our society has the concept of love all jacked up. And I can tell you that Lori and I were very fortunate enough 20 some odd years ago to have mentors and counselors in our lives that taught us that love is not a fleeting emotion. Love is not a feeling. Love is indeed a choice. You have to make a choice to love your spouse. Each and every day you wake up and you choose to love your spouse. When things aren't all warm and fuzzy, going the way you want them to go, you have to make a choice to be in love with your spouse. You have to choose love. Love is something we choose. We don't live in this fleeting, momentary, I'd almost call it fictitious world of emotion, or of just being overcome with that warm fuzzy. That's not what love is. Love is a conscious choice that you must make every single day. For 20-something years, I have to choose to love my wife. And some days that's easy, and some days that is very, very difficult. And imagine for her, very few days that's probably easy for her, and a ton of them it's super, super hard. And I'd say that's probably my number one piece of advice I ever give any couple, any young couple, any experienced couple. I don't have this all figured out. We're still learning as we go in a lot of ways, but I can tell you this for certain, that love is indeed a choice. And the one of, if not the biggest key to a successful marriage, a successful relationship, is to choose to love your spouse. As you can see, I can feel myself getting amped up about this all over again. Again, I made a video about it a while back. I truly believe that the number one key that we can bring to our marriage is the choice of love, and for 1,000 reasons. But showing my kids that I choose to love their mother every single day is huge. Man, I could go on and on about love as a choice, but I'll leave you with this. One of the hardest ones for me, and one of the most effective ones, I think, is things that I've learned over 20 years, is be the first to say I'm sorry. It's an easy one to say and a hard one to do. Almost every conflict that you will have means nothing in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. It means virtually nothing. So, be mindful of that and be the first to say I'm sorry. Why not? Get it over with. Get it done with. You're going to have conflict. I promise you will have conflict. Be the first one to apologize for it. You're not perfect. Your spouse knows you're not perfect. So own it, eat it, and move on. That's it. Move on from it. The fastest way to get away from a wrongdoing is to own it and apologize for it. It's that simple and that difficult, right? It sounds simple enough. Choose to love your spouse. Choose to say I'm sorry. Be the first one to offer up that apology. That sounds easy, but it is not easy. You know, another one that comes to mind as I sit here and think about that is division. You know, I believe that our marriages are under attack in 1,000 different ways, and it will come from really, the divisiveness can come from really surprising places, even some warm, close, fuzzy places, like your kiddos. You know, my kids are inherently good. I believe that. but they're inherently selfish, because we all are selfish. And I'm going to talk about selfishness last. But divisiveness creeps in. Division can creep in on you, whether that be through friends or in-laws or outlaws, parents, kiddos, people you know. There can, maybe even it's something as simple as politics, good gracious, or denomination, religion. Divisiveness finds a weird way of creeping into relationships. And that kind of goes back to what I said before, being on the same page. But I think that you must be aware that your marriage is constantly under attack from all sides, all sources. Your marriage is constantly under attack. And you have to be aware of that so that when you feel divisiveness creeping in, when you can feel division, well, mom said I could do this. Why are you telling me no? No, your mom didn't. Let's go and address this head on, right? Be careful of division, because it will creep in places that you don't expect. And be looking for it. Be intentionally looking for it. Divisiveness can happen in surprising ways. I'm rambling a lot. I'm going to leave you with this one. If I were to summarize a successful relationship in one word and one word only, it would be this: selflessness. I believe we are all inherently selfish. That's just how we're made. I'm sorry, you yellow personalities that think that you're here on the earth to serve other people. When push comes to shove, I guarantee you there is selfishness inside of you. That's just how we're made. And I can assure you that the most destructive force in your marriage relationship is selfishness. And then on the flip side, the most powerful, sustaining force that you will have in your relationship is selflessness. Putting your spouse, their needs, their desires, their heart above your own. That is an absolute recipe for success. I guarantee you that. If you choose love, if you put your spouse first, and you remember all these other kind of little tips along the way, things are going to work out. And I truly believe personally that if it were not for a supernatural presence in our life, or the love of Jesus, we wouldn't have those things. Selflessness and choosing love are really the meat and potatoes. I've been married for 20 years. I don't know it all. I have screwed up a ton, and I wouldn't be here without forgiveness, without choice of love, without selflessness, without a wife that is absolutely amazing. I married my best friend. I truly did. I married a woman whose her whole goal in life was to be a mom. And man, does she crush that goal. She's such a good mom. And I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy with my spouse. I'm so happy to have fun with her. I'm so happy to be with her still. I'm so happy for her forgiveness. I'm so happy for her joy and her I'm so happy that, man, when the tunes get cranked up, she's the first one on the dance floor, the first one to laugh at herself when she's silly. Those are some important keys to making the long haul stick. That's not all of it. It's just some thoughts that I had. I didn't want to post some pictures with a few words saying, hey, 20 years of marriage, congratulations, babe. I just didn't feel like that cut it. So today, that's my unscripted list of some thoughts on what it takes to have a successful marriage after 20 years. I'm sure I'm forgetting things. If you've got some things to add, drop them in the comments. If you're watching this on a replay, hit replay. Maybe show me some love, thumbs up or something. But yeah, if I missed anything, add it. Let's make this a happy 20th to my wife-o. Here's some great thoughts on marriage. Maybe somebody will see it and appreciate it, and maybe it'll help them. I hope it does. Again, we were fortunate enough to have some pretty good mentors in our life that helped us through some of this stuff, help us learn some of it, because we certainly didn't know it going into it. So I would welcome your comments. I would welcome your dissension as well. I like to debate. But if you got anything to add that maybe I'm overlooking and missing, add it. Man, marriage is fun and it's hard. It's the best of your life and the worst of your life at times. Ups and downs, for sure. Keep forgiving, keep choosing love, and keep being selfless. You'll be successful.